Why are people upset that the book is what it's supposed to be? That's just stupid. Warning, this will be a very angry rant review. Oh goodness, and it is a long one. So, a little while back, I did a video reacting to 1-star reviews of The Way of Kings, one of my favorite fantasy books of all time, and had a lot of fun with that. So we are doing it again, except this time we're going to be doing Mistborn the Final Empire, book 1 of the saga. I had a little trouble with this one. I actually, on the last video for The Way of Kings, went to Amazon and looked at the Amazon 1-star reviews of it. And that's what I tried to do for Mistborn. But if you actually go to Mistborn on Amazon, scroll through, look at the reviews, there's not any 1-star reviews for it. And I found that very odd. I mean, Mistborn is the most reread book for me as far as the Cosmere goes. I have read it multiple times and plan on reading it multiple more times. I love this book, but I mean, everyone hates something, right? So I ended up going to Goodreads, because you can always count on Goodreads to say bad things about books. And over there are plenty of 1-star reviews for us to take a look at. Juvenile, no character development, no characters I care about, unappealing plot. If I had read the words flared this or burned that one more time, I would have destroyed the book. I didn't care about the plight of the Ska. I didn't hate the nobility. I didn't hate the Lord Ruler. He's literally the Dark Lord that won and has been enslaving and ruling over this world for 1,000 years. But I guess some people like that. I wasn't drawn in by the mystery of what the Lord Ruler defeated. There was never any doubt about whether the protagonists, can you really call them that? That's what you call a morally gray character, and they're wonderful when they're done correctly, would win. But did they win? I mean, slight spoilers for this, just for anyone watching up to this point. There will be spoilers in this. Kelsier's plan really didn't work. Not plan A. Plan B worked. Well, maybe plan C. It could have been plan D. But either way, his first few ideas did not work. He died. So, yeah. No characters paid any price for anything of consequence in this book. People were dying left and right in this book. I don't know what this person read. It was when the thief and the mage pulled out a whiteboard and started drawing a flowchart on how to conquer the fantasy kingdom that I realized, wait, I'm just reading the same Sad Bastards D&D campaign. No. What you were doing was reading Ocean's 11 set in a fantasy world. It's very different. Massively overhyped and lazily constructed. The overhyped, like, I could understand that, especially now that Brandon's gotten so famous and all that. But lazily constructed? There's 3 magic systems in this with multiple rules very well laid out on how they interplay with each other and the plot and the characters. Over 3 books in this era, 3 more in the next era, set 300 years later, with more books to come and a whole other era planned out. What's lazy about that? For starters, despite Mistborn being touted by some, the author, as the bad guy wins book, it is actually generic as almost any other book using a Dark Lord. No, because in the generic Dark Lord is trying to conquer the world. This one has already conquered the world, so that's the difference there. But as far as him being like a Dark Lord, yeah, he's a Dark Lord. I mean, he's named the Lord Ruler. Like, his character, not that creative, I'll give you that. He goes on to say, now before I rip into the book, haven't you already ripped into the book by saying it was lazily constructed? Okay. All right, and then he goes on to talk about how the characters are unlikable. Vin is only slightly likable with a plethora of inner monologues and brother issues, and then calls Kelsier generic. And then goes, I think he wrote an entire book about this book, which we're going to skip most of that. This book would have benefited from having no characters. Characters are my favorite thing in this book. Like the crew, it's about the crew. Kelsier is my favorite character of all the Cosmere. And I don't think I'm alone in that. Taken as an encyclopedia of a sad and dreary an unrelenting Euro-colonial world with regimented, systemized, and utterly demystified magic system. This book is a workmanlike attempt. It doesn't excel. It's no dictionary of the Khazars. It's a full-bore effort to create a fantasy without wonder, mystery, or beauty. And in this, insofar as such a thing could even be called fantasy, it works. And see, this is one of those reviews that criticizes it for doing what it tried to do. Like, Brandon's way of writing magic systems is a hard magic system. It's intentionally supposed to be a resource. It's laid out what you can and cannot do with it by defined rules, so that when you get into a problem situation, the characters have to use creative ways to use the tools they know. Unlike a more Harry Potter system, which is a more wondrous magic system where you never know what could happen. Maybe we can turn back time in this chapter, when we couldn't earlier, but we're going to forget about that because it's just wondrous and magical. Mistborn is a fantasy heist novel. Good eye. I wish more people had pointed that out, because isn't that like on the back of the cover? Like, when most people describe this, it's a heist novel. I wish more people had pointed that out, because then I would have definitely strayed away. I find the assembly of heist teams and the usual of the heist themselves to be so boring. This does nothing new or special with those ideas, except it's set in a fantasy world where the different crew members have different talents with their magic. So that's different. And they're overthrowing an empire with it instead of stealing something. So that's different. But yeah, if you don't like a heist book, if you don't like a heist story in general, don't read Mistborn. Hard to believe this was written by the same person who wrote the Stormlight Archive. I honestly don't understand the popularity of this book. The writing is cringy, highly repetitive, and full of extended info dumps. I don't remember a whole lot of info dumps in it. The magic system makes no sense. Wrong. Just wrong. There's tables, there's charts, there's systematic things in the magic system to make it make sense. That's the whole point of how Brandon Sanderson does writing magic. He makes it make sense. Especially since many of the metals that are consumed are simply alloys of the other elemental metals, but then give completely different effects. Do you know what an alloy is? Like, alloys, when you mix them, they have different properties than they would on their own. Sometimes very vastly different. But in this case, even that's explained as, push, pull, internal, external, whole 16 thing. It all... Read the book. Pay attention. It's marked as a high fantasy, but for me it was more young adult. I disagree with that. I think this, and it has been marketed as a young adult book before by the publisher, as well as adult fantasy. I think it falls more into the adult fantasy realm, but that's just me. It's really just a marketing term. It has nothing to do with the quality of the book. The magic system is pretty much Magneto from the X-Men. No, it's not. It's not even close at all. I couldn't get into the story, probably because Sanderson isn't a great writer. Now I'm questioning my 4 stars for The Way of Kings. Why would one book make you think less of a different, completely separate book? That's just stupid. Oh, I like this one. She gives a warning. Warning, this will be a very angry rant review. Oh goodness, and it is a long one. Honest to God, I will never understand how this book is so beloved by all. I have been so painfully bored since the very beginning, hoping it would eventually redeem itself. This book starts with Kelsier murdering an entire manor of people, so I guess that's boring. The entire first section of this book is all political dialogue that mostly doesn't even make much sense, because the entire time Kelsier just hints at things. That's foreshadowing and not being direct, because Kelsier's all about there's always another secret, so that's kind of the mystery plot of it. Vin hardly speaks at all because she's been abused. So she basically doesn't even count as a character. Oh goodness. Then we get to the 2 chapters based around the magic system. I seriously just wanted to scream. I was so bored. Honestly, I think I'm the only reader in the world that could not give a shit about how the magic works scientifically. Oh, you can fly? Great. More power to you. Oh, you can summon a fireball with your hand? Awesome. Oh, you can shapeshift? Fantastic. I don't need to know the specifics behind it. It's bloody magic. It just is. It's a hard magic system. If you don't like hard magic systems, don't read this book. Like if you really want to read a math textbook and you read Mistborn, you're going to be disappointed because it's not a math textbook. If you're looking for a soft magic system fantasy book and you read Mistborn, you will be disappointed because it's not a soft magic system. It's a hard magic system. That's what it's supposed to be. Why are people upset that the book is what it's supposed to be? Like, where's the criticism? Okay, so that's just a few of the over 300 one-star reviews of one of my favorite books. So yeah, if you don't like hard magic systems, you're not going to like this book. Also, if you don't like fantasy, you're probably not going to like this book. If you don't like heist stories, you're probably not going to like this book. If you don't understand what a plot is, you probably won't like this book. So let me know down in the comments, is this a one-star book for you? Do you hate it? Do you agree with all these people? If so, leave your review in the comments. I'd love to hear about it. And also let me know if you like these kind of videos. I do 3 videos a week, so if you want more of these, let me know. I also do book reviews on certain titles I've read, book hauls, and all that fun stuff. So if you like that kind of thing, please like, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next one.